everyone, I hope you're well. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Seppi, and in today's video, as you can guess by the title, this is one of my most highly requested videos. I'm going to be basically opening my exam results, and I'm going to be showing you guys how I revised for my medical school exams this year. So I am a fourth year medical student. So in the UK, med school is 5 years, and yeah, I've done 4 of them now. So I'll be going into my final year next month, which I'm very excited about. But yeah, I thought that I would do, like, I've watched before people opening their results, and in my university results come in 2 bits. So after a week you get pass fail, and then beyond that, like a few days later, we got kind of a breakdown of our results, and my kind of result breakdown came through, so I thought that I would go through it with you guys. So fortunately, I passed my exams. My exams were in 2 parts. So the first one was the written paper, the YSKT, so the year specific knowledge test, and the second part was the OSCE, which is the clinical skills part, and that's where you basically do like practicals, and you show to an examiner on a patient or a simulated patient, basically an actor, how you would like respond to each scenario. So for example, you could have like pregnant ladies coming in, or someone with tummy pain coming in, or you can have someone with eye pain, sudden loss of vision, headaches, all of these things. So my exam results came through, and so for the written part, I think the pass mark every year on average, I don't know what it was this year, is about 50%, and I got 60, so I was way past the pass mark, thank the Lord. And for the OSCE, I got an average of 72.2% across 14 stations. So there's 14 stations that you do practicals on, and yeah, I got 72.2. So out of 14 stations, you can fail 5, and I think the average number to fail this year was 1, yeah. But the average pass mark for OSCE again is about 50%, so I did well above the average. I think I got top 20%, but I'm not 100% sure if I did get the top 20% in my year group, but I'm pretty sure I did. So I'm very happy with that. So they kind of broke it down for us, and yeah, like I got like 80%, 77.5, 72.5, 55, 80, 91.3, 97.5, 100%, 76.3, 70, 50, 50, 43.8, and 67.5. So yeah, it all balanced out to 72.2%, and yeah, I'm really beyond happy with that. So I am going into my final year now, which I am ecstatic about, and yeah, I think that I put in a lot of work for it, so I'm really happy with the results. I think overall, when you add up, so when you add up the 60 and the 72.2, I kind of hit like around 65%, which should put me like in the 5th decile. So in medical school, they like rank you in deciles. So top deciles, the top 10% of the year group, and bottom deciles, like the bottom 10% performing of the year group. And I think I would probably be sitting on around 5th with 65%, but I'm not too sure, because they haven't sent that out, that information out to us yet. But I'm really happy with that. Every year I try and like beat my school from the previous year, because my only competition is myself. I know we get ranked against each other, and unfortunately I do see it in university. I do see people seeing each other as competition, and I think it's really sad, in my opinion, because the only person in life who should be a competition is you. You should only look back at yourself and see what you did and what you can do better next time. So yeah, that's pretty much my goals, is to always do better than what I did last time. And yeah, I'm really happy with my results. So now talking about how I revised for these exams. So like I said, it's 2 parts. So 50% of my grade came from the multiple choice papers. There was 2 papers, each one had 100 marks, and the second part of my results came from my practical, which was 14 stations. 5 of them were 15-minute stations, and 9 of them were 10-minute stations. So I'm mostly going to focus on how I revised for the written stuff. If you guys want me to do a revision on OSCEs, so the practical stuff, then let me know. But I don't know how helpful that would be, because I know that the way I revised for the written stuff would be really good for GCSEs and A-levels even. So what I did was, I've got my notebooks here. So I have 2 notebooks, and these are both literally filled with my notes. So my exams were in July, and I started revising properly, like hardcore, in April. So I do some work throughout the year, like a couple of hours a day for about four days a week. But because I go to university on placement full time, so I go from 8 a.m. till like minimum 3:30, usually 5 p.m. So that's quite a long day. So to come back and revise full time afterwards is too much for me to do for the whole year. I feel like I'd burn out. So I started revising full time from April. So from April, I would literally go straight to the library after placement, and I would stay till about 11 p.m. 11 p.m. or I would come home and do that revision, but usually I like to go to the library. Reason being is because first of all, the journey home can distract you, and then when you get home you forget you need to revise. That's one of the reasons I do it. The second is that there's no noise in the library, but at home, even when I want to film a video, there's always someone who wants to make noise, and the slightest noise will distract you. And thirdly, being around other people who are studying and not on their phones and stuff will stop you from going on your phone and being distracted. So I think it's a really good environment to revise in. If you have a library and you've never tried it out, I recommend trying it out, because, you know, sitting in silence and just getting your work done, you're so much more productive. Another thing that I do is I take breaks, but the first sitting, so when I first go to the library and sit down, I try and sit for as long as I can without taking a break, because that is when you're most productive. So the first sitting is when you're most productive. After that, you're going to need regular breaks. So usually I can do my first sitting I've done for up to like 2.5 hours, 3 hours, and then I'll need a break. I'll go get a coffee or like a snack or something like that, and then I'll come back and recuperate, or I'll sit outside the library with my friends, have a little chat. And then after that, I do like an hour and a half, and then like a half an hour break or 20-minute break, and like that, cyclical. Just because you always want to be like focused, you don't want to lose your focus, and if you sit down too long, you'll end up looking at your notes, but you won't actually be focused on your notes, if that makes sense. So let me show you guys my notes. So I am a spider diagram queen. I love making spider diagrams, and when I go back through my notes, I literally just highlight everything that's important, and I use colors. I think colors really help a lot, and I write all the key information. So what I do is I use textbooks to get the information that I need. The textbooks that I use, a lot of you guys ask me, so I use the Oxford Handbook of Clinical Specialties. I'll put a little picture here. And I also use the Oxford Handbook of Clinical Medicine. Again, I'll put a picture right here. And I use that to make my notes. And when I'm making my notes, I don't rush to make notes. I like to read through, make sure I completely understand it, and then I'll move on to the next topic. So each topic, so for example, each specialty can take me about 2 or 3 weeks to 2 weeks, I would say, to make notes on. So to make notes on all of gynecology took me about a week and a half, because I really loved that placement, so it was easier for me to absorb it. But psychiatry took me like 3 weeks, because it's a concept that took me longer to kind of grasp, but then once I got it, I was happier with it. So those are the textbooks that I use. That's how I make my notes. I make spider diagrams, and then closer to exam time, I can look back at my diagram and kind of highlight everything that's important, or even the day before. It's really good for going back and seeing what's important. Now, how I consolidate my memory is, once I've made these notes, we have a website that's available all over the world. You guys can check it out, called passmedicine.com. And passmedicine.com is basically a question bank with like 5,000 questions. I'm not sponsored or any way affiliated. I wish I was, because like it's freaking awesome. And yeah, so I heard about it through people at uni, and I got it. And you pay, I can't even tell you how much you pay, but it's nothing more than like £25 for like 6 months or a year or something like that. So it's fairly inexpensive for how many questions you get, 5,000 questions. So they have questions on each specialty. So they have all of medicine, so gastro, hematology, infectious diseases, all of that, and cardiology, resp. And then they'll have each specialty as well, so like gynecology, obstetrics, women's health, ophthalmology, neurology. So they'll have all of these questions, and for each specialty they'll have about 300 questions. So once I'd made all of my notes, I would do all 300 questions, and it gives you like feedback on, like, if you get a question wrong, right underneath it, like almost like a textbook bulletproof version. It'll tell you like all the facts about that topic that you got wrong, and you can make notes from it, and that's what I would do. And then I also had, along with my textbooks, I had the question book for my textbooks, so the Oxford Assess and Progress books, and I bought those and I did all of the questions for the clinical specialties, and I did some of the questions for clinical medicine but not all of them, simply because of time. I didn't manage to do all of those questions, but that was really good for me when I take the train. There's no reception, so I can't use like an online website, so I would use that book of questions to consolidate my memory. And yeah, from that I did about 700 questions. From PassMed I would say I did about a few thousand questions, like 2,000-3,000 questions. Probably, yeah, this year. I think every year I do about 2,000-3,000. There are some people who just study from Past Medicine, so there's about 5,000 questions on there, and they'll do it like 3 times. But I feel like that wouldn't work for me. I like to read from the textbook and understand the subject rather than be a question spotter who just kind of picks up from the mark scheme. Because in real life, as a doctor, you know, you're not going to be able to question spot things, in my opinion. But whatever works for each person, at the end of the day, we're all working towards the same thing. So I just thought I'd let you know what some people do. So yeah, that's pretty much how I studied for my exams. And yeah, so I made notes. I read over my notes before the exam, but in the meantime, in that time frame, I did questions, and that is how I consolidated my memory. And overall I got pass mark, like I said, average across the written and the practical. I got 65% pass mark, which I'm very, very happy with. You guys might think that's quite low, but like I said, the pass mark is usually around 50%. So technically I got 15% above the pass mark, which usually puts me about on the 5th decile, I think, but I'm not 100% sure. So yeah, I'm really, really happy with that. Like I said, I've been very, very open and honest with you guys. I like being open and honest with you on my channel, and yeah, you know, please be kind. Don't be mean in the comments about it. But yeah, I'm very, very happy with what I did. Also, if you go to university in the UK and you study a different subject, like you study, I don't know, like history or law or something, then you guys would be graded like first class, 2-1, 2-2, all of that. So when I say 65%, a lot of you will be thinking that's like a 2-1 level. But yeah, medicine is graded in a different way. So I hope that you guys found all of this really useful. If you did, then please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to me down below. On my channel, I don't just talk about medicine. If you guys have been following me for a while, you'll know I do vlogs. I'm actually going away next week, so there's gonna be a travel vlog of Mykonos, which I can't wait to share with you guys. And I basically record my whole life, so med school, exercise, fitness, everything that you can imagine. So if you have any videos you want to see as well, even if it's not medical related, or if it is, let me know down in the comments and I will love to film it for you guys. Don't forget to check out my socials. They're always linked down below in the description box, but I'll write across the screen too. It is Persian Bunny on Instagram and Seppi Samai on Snapchat. I love you all so, so, so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye!